Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight on the show, and I'm here tonight. First, we're going to talk about some NFL news. So let's get right into it here. So first thing I'll talk about is Purdy report here. Taylor Swift has reportedly turned down the opportunity to play at Super Bowl 58. So there's been a lot of people that have wanted her to perform, do the Super Bowl, but apparently she turned down the opportunity. And I think a lot of people will be like, oh, thank God, but these are just the same people that will just listen to rap and say everything else is trash. It must be lonely being such a hater, people who hate Taylor Swift. You could say that about every halftime performance ever, saying, oh, people that were turned down this favor, nobody watches football, see Taylor Swift perform, but I mean, I feel like half the tickets would be sold to people who are not there to watch the game, but that's the Super Bowl majority of tickets. Sold mostly anyways. But she doesn't need it. I mean, I feel like people are just haters. So we had some breaking news, I guess, NFL related, since Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless debate football a lot most of the time. This was announced on the Sports Rapport and Andrew Marchland. Shannon Sharpe is joining First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Or he's joining with Stephen A. Smith, excuse me. Shannon Sharpe will debate Stephen A. Smith on Mondays and Tuesdays on ESPN on, quote, First Take, per the New York Post. Stephen A. Smith wanted Shannon Sharpe on the First Take, and now he's got Shannon Sharpe, which is pretty much predictable that Shannon Sharpe is eventually going to end up at ESPN on First Take with Stephen A. It was just a matter of time when it was going to happen, and it's officially been announced. I mean, Skip Bayless must be furious. Shannon Sharpe joining First Take. I mean, probably not, since he probably doesn't like him. Maybe he's in a complete meltdown. But I think this can be good for sports media on First Take. Or entertainment purposes. First Take's going to be pretty good. Maybe. But we're about to get some good, maybe, First Take debates with Stephen A. and Uncle Shannon. Yeah, that was official today, so basically the new era is Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. on First Take and the Pat McAfee show. I mean, this could be good for ESPN. Maybe. Got sort of a W. So I think Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. can have some good debates, and I like Pat McAfee. So we had an update. The hashtag Ravens, they are signing former Broncos cornerback Ronald Darby. We talked about how the Ravens were looking for some cornerback depth, and they've signed Ronald Darby. It's not a bad pickup. It's mostly for depth purposes, which I think is a good move. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't really hurt the team. His stats were good last year, but he got hurt. But he sounds like a Ravens player. Ravens have so many injuries, so he'll fit right in with that team. The Broncos will wear their, quote, snow-capped alternate helmets on October 8th versus the hashtag Jets and December 24th versus the hashtag Patriots. I think these are clean. This is their helmet. This is the jersey. And this is a full view of the helmet. I actually think these are clean. I like these. I'll find some more news here. So, the top 25 players in the NFL of age 25 or under, according to 7 front office executives and 5 NFL coaches, by Mike Jones. So he lists his top 25, or these 7 front office executives and 5 NFL coaches. They have Justin Jefferson. This is all in order, by the way. Justin Jefferson, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, Patrick Surtain, Jamar Chase, Justin Herbert, Quinnen Williams, Jalen Hurts, Sauce Gardner, Tristan Wirfs, Jalen Waddle, Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb, Trevor Lawrence, Penei Sewell, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Smith, Creed Humphrey, Brian Burns, Kyle Pitts, DK Metcalf, Jonathan Taylor, Trayvon Diggs, and Talanoa Hufanga. So, honestly, I think this is a good list. Honestly think this is gonna be a good. This is a good list. I think Christian Darrisaw should have made it near the bottom. He's gonna be a Pro Bowl left tackle. I think he could have made this list. I would have had DK Metcalf over Kyle Pitts. It's just he hasn't really done much for Falcons, but it doesn't help that they barely target him. But it's also a pretty solid list. The future of the league is in very good hands. Just so much good talent in the league. I think people are sleeping on Brian Burns being are pretty low here. Yeah, that was the that list. Trying to find some more news here. So we had some more bad news from practice. Hashtag Dolphins left tackle Teron Armstead was carted off the practice field with an apparent leg injury, per Daniel Oyefusi. And he was unable to put weight on his right leg when he was taken off in the car, according to the report. It's worth noting that in 10 years in the NFL, he's never played a full season. So with the injury here, he was unable to put weight on his right leg. It's just a tough break. The injury bug's just real in practice. But that's a huge blow. That's a huge blow to their team, especially on the offensive line. I feel bad for him. Like, I've always liked him as a left tackle, but to be blunt, he's always had an injury history. And being carted off is not a good sign when you can't put weight on your right leg. So there was you remember back in April when Joe Mixon has been recharged with aggravated menacing by the city of Cincinnati? Well, we have an update today that running back Joe Mixon has been found, quote, not guilty of aggravated menacing. So they charged him, then let the charges go, recharged him, and now the charges are not guilty. So, following the not guilty verdict, he's expected to return to practices with the Bengals, and it's now unlikely that he receives a suspension. I have no clue what the quote menacing is. Sounds like some supervillain activity. But yeah, he's basically not guilty though. Some bad news: Colts speedy wide receiver Ashton Dulin is done for the season after suffering a torn ACL injury. Really tough too for Dulin because he was making some plays on offense too, and that really stops his momentum. So, following the report that said Taylor Swift has turned down the opportunity to play the Super Bowl, there are, quote, rumors are that Miley Cyrus and Harry Styles have had talks with the NFL about doing the Super Bowl halftime show via the Pop Hive and the Pop Teams. I don't know about that, man. I really don't know who I'd want to perform the Super Bowl. I mean, I like Harry Styles. I mean, maybe he could perform the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I don't know if many people would be interested. So we have an update about the Chiefs, a super fan called Chiefsaholic. He was recently arrested after months of evading police. He was evading police. He's been indicted by a federal grand jury for robbing several financial institutions and laundering the proceeds through area casinos. Man, we need a whole movie about Chiefsaholic. This must be studied. Typical Chiefs fan. I don't know about Chiefs fans robbing banks. I don't know if Chiefs fans do that. This dude's crazy. He evaded the police for months. I guess he was robbing stuff, and the police finally caught him. He was recently arrested, but then, yeah, he's been indicted by a federal grand jury. So we had some good news after Treylon Burks went down and he suffered an injury and got carted off. DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry came over to check on him before he left. He went down, suffered an injury, but some good news: he was diagnosed with a LCL sprain and should only miss a few weeks. There was concern it was more severe, but fortunately, it's not as bad as an injury as they thought it would be. So, some good news. So, 49ers QB Brock Purdy has thrown 10 interceptions in training camp so far, according to Lombardi himself. He had 2 interceptions in yesterday's practice, with another potential interception drop. So he's done bad. I'm not going to say he's trash when he's not throwing screen passes or checkdowns like some people will say. I think it's just training camp. I mean, I don't know. I don't think people should overreact. I don't know who they're going to start. I don't know who they're going to start at quarterback to start the year. But yeah. Dez Bryant then listed his top 5 receivers in the NFL. He said Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and then Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know about Odell Beckham Jr. being on here in the top 5 list. Maybe he doesn't watch the NFL. I mean, he's really close with OBJ, so he's kind of biased here. But overall, it's a good list, except I wouldn't put Odell here. But he's kind of biased because that's one of his friends. So, the Panthers have placed speedy wide receiver Damian Byrd on the injured reserve, ending his season. So they've signed Colin Duncan, a cornerback. Oh no, too bad. We had some good news. The Raiders' Devontae Adams, he practiced yesterday. He suffered a leg injury last Friday during the joint practice 49ers, but he'll return to practice, so he's back, so W. Bad news, Bucs wide receiver Russell Gage has been carted off the field. He was not able to put weight on his left leg and, quote, does not look good. He received help from the training staff, and he was really upset as he was carted off. And they confirmed that he suffered a pretty serious non-contact injury, so it looks like he's going to be out for the season. So poor guy, man. Dolphins star defensive tackle Christian Wilkins is, quote, holding in amid contract negotiations. Holding in sounds like the NFL version of quiet quitting. But yeah, it's really all I've saved for this NFL video, so until next time I'm out. Peace.